But my mom was always very supportive, and I had awesome teachers. I had a fantastic teachers. I'm so grateful to the Denver Public School System. And I had a great art teacher in junior high who became my art teacher in high school. She just was switched schools and happened to be the teacher. And she was Tia Tafoya Luna. She was fantastic. And her support, I remember junior high going over to her house to mat things, and she took slides of my work. The first slides that I sent when I applied to colleges was because of her, and that was absolutely critical, having somebody like that. So she was like my first mentor, and kind of in some way, in terms of getting my art out there, my last mentor in that way. But that was critical.
I have heard that so many times, a teacher or an adult of any kind telling a young child, and it's usually in the instances I'm thinking of, the child was about 6, and I guess you were about 6 or 7.
5, 6, 7.
Yeah. Charles Schultz tells the story of being in the 1st grade drawing cartoons, and the teacher saying with a tremendous genuine sincerity, "Charles, one day you're going to be a cartoonist." Elizabeth Louise Vigée-Lebrun, who's a portraitist in the 18th century. She was Marie Antoinette's preferred portraitist. And she, again, at age 6, 7, was drawing, sketching, and her father said this very thing: "You are going to be a painter." You know, that kind of support.
I heard that.
So what kind of childhood or environment in your childhood would you have liked to have had? What would have been helpful to develop your creativity?
Well, that's an interesting question, because certainly those places and families of origin contribute to how we are and how we think and who we are. So in some ways, I think it has prompted my work to be, and it's prompted me to have a certain kind of compassion and sensitivity and connection. But in the best of worlds, I would have preferred more presence. Presence certainly of my family, of my parents, more presence, acknowledgement, validation.
2 years ago, I was up in Concord, Massachusetts, and I went to Louisa May Alcott's house. And if you've ever been there, you go up to the 2nd floor, you go to her bedroom, and maybe where her and her sister, I think, share the bedroom, and all over the walls are all these drawings. They're still there, that they made as kids. Now, can you imagine imagine if I started drawing on the walls at my house? You know, I don't know if my parents would be that supportive, but imagine as parents if you encourage that kind of creativity and having that creative environment. And look, you know, she had some creative output as a writer.
You know, the word encouragement means so much to me. One of the things that I have seen on TV, I'm sure most of you have already seen it. It's sort of a commercial, but yet they're not selling anything. And it's called The Foundation for a Better Life. And one of the things that impressed me the most was the first little vignette that they put out. And that is, parents are at a concert to see a famous pianist. That's what you're assuming. And they're sitting there, and the wife says to the husband, or the partner says to the husband, to the person, "Well, where is he?" And you know that they're talking about their little son. The next thing you know, the curtains part, and this little child is playing chopsticks on the piano. Oh my God, the parents are horrified. So then the famous pianist comes out, he puts his arms around, he says, "Keep playing," and he does this embellishment that is unbelievable on chopsticks, and then the announcer says, "Encouragement, pass it on."
Wow.
And that is so
beautiful.
touching to me.